Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of entertainment news where the world of glamour and grit collides in the most unexpected way. Imagine the bright lights of a bustling morning TV studio in London, the air buzzing with the scent of fresh coffee and the faint hum of excitement from the crew behind the scenes. It's a crisp autumn morning on October 25, 2025, and the set of ITV's beloved Lorraine Kelly show is alive with anticipation. The iconic host, Lorraine Kelly, a Scottish powerhouse with over 4 decades in broadcasting, sits poised in her signature chair, her warm smile masking the sharp wit that has made her a household name. Today, she's welcoming none other than Kate Winslet, the Oscar-winning titan of the silver screen, fresh off the heels of her latest directorial triumph, a poignant adaptation of a classic novel that has critics raving and audiences weeping. Kate, at 50 years young, strides onto the set with the effortless grace of a woman who has conquered blockbusters like Titanic and intimate dramas like The Reader, her blonde waves cascading over a tailored emerald green blazer that hugs her curves just so, paired with wide-leg trousers that whisper of old Hollywood elegance. The audience erupts in applause, a sea of familiar faces from loyal viewers who tune in daily for Lorraine's blend of celebrity chit-chat, lifestyle tips, and that unfiltered Scottish charm. As the cameras roll, the segment kicks off with light-hearted banter, Lorraine gushing over Kate's latest red carpet slay at the Venice Film Festival, where she turned heads in a custom gown that paid homage to her maritime legacy, complete with subtle nautical embroidery that sparkled under the Italian sun. Kate laughs, her blue eyes twinkling, recounting a hilarious wardrobe malfunction involving a rogue wave of prosecco that nearly upended her during after-party toasts with fellow stars like Timothée Chalamet, copyright Chalamet and Zendaya. The chemistry is electric, the kind that makes morning TV addictive. Two women at the top of their games, trading stories like old friends over tea. But beneath the surface, there's a subtle undercurrent, a tension born from the high-stakes world of live television where every word is a potential headline. Lorraine, ever the consummate professional, steers the conversation toward Kate's new film, probing gently about the challenges of transitioning from actress to auteur, drawing parallels to her own evolution from news anchor to entertainment empress. Kate opens up, her voice rich with passion, describing sleepless nights poring over scripts in her countryside cottage, the weight of representation pressing on her shoulders as she crafts stories that amplify women's voices in an industry still grappling with inequality. The audience leans in, hanging on every syllable, as Kate shares a poignant anecdote about mentoring young female directors on set, echoing her real-life advocacy through the Golden Globes controversy where she called out the Hollywood foreign press for their lack of diversity. It's a moment of genuine connection, the kind that transcends the superficial gloss of showbiz, reminding viewers why Kate Winslet remains a beacon of authenticity in a sea of filtered facades. Yet, as the minutes tick by, the interview's rhythm begins to shift, like a calm sea before a storm. Lorraine, perhaps sensing the need to spice things up for the at-home crowd, pivots to a more personal angle, her eyes lighting up with that mischievous glint. "Kate, darling, you've always been so candid about body positivity. Tell us, how did you handle those pesky tabloid trolls during your latest shoot?" she asks, her tone playful but probing. Kate pauses, her smile tightening ever so slightly, a flicker of steel in her gaze that hints at boundaries about to be tested. The studio lights seem to brighten, casting long shadows across the polished floor, and in that pregnant silence, the stage is set for what will become one of the most talked-about clashes in British telly-history. As the applause fades and the next question hangs in the air, not the producers whispering in headsets, not the makeup artist hovering off-camera, not even the sharp-eyed audience members clutching their mugs of PG Tips could foresee the fireworks about to ignite. The tension thickens like fog rolling in from the Thames, enveloping the studio in an invisible shroud that makes every breath feel weighted. Kate Winslet, her posture impeccable yet unyielding, leans forward slightly, her fingers interlacing on the glass table between them, a barrier both literal and metaphorical. Lorraine Kelly, unflappable on the surface, adjusts her microphone clip with a practiced flick, her smile unwavering but her eyes narrowing just a fraction, a telltale sign for those who know her tells from years of on-air marathons. The audience, A mix of pensioners in floral blouses and young mums with babes in arms, shifts uncomfortably in their seats, the earlier warmth dissipating into a charged hush broken only by the faint whir of cameras zooming in for the close-up. Kate presses on, her voice gaining volume like a crescendo in one of her epic film scores, recounting the insidious ways media scrutiny has warped perceptions of female beauty, from the relentless Photoshop debates to the body-shaming scandals that plagued her post-Titanic glow-up. "I've spent years rebuilding myself after the world decided my worth was in my waistline," she declares, her tone a blend of vulnerability and defiance that commands the room. Examples tumble forth: the 2009 Marie Claire-cover debacle where editors airbrushed her into oblivion, sparking her fierce op-ed in the Times; the 2021 Vanity Fair shoot where she insisted on natural lighting to celebrate her thunder thighs, a move that went viral and inspired a hashtag movement. Lorraine listens, nodding with what appears to be empathy, but then counters with her own arsenal, drawing from her reporter's playbook. "Oh, Kate, I get it. I've been in the game since the Falklands War coverage," fending off comments about my sturdy Scottish build from cheeky colleagues, she retorts, her accent thickening for emphasis, a tactic to disarm with familiarity. But Kate isn't disarmed. If anything, the response fans the flames. "That's exactly the problem." Lorraine reducing women's resilience to quips lets the patriarchy off the hook. Kate fires back, her words slicing through the air like the bow of the Titanic parting waves. The studio erupts in murmurs, a few claps from the back row where the die-hard feminists sit, while others exchange wide-eyed glances, wondering if this is scripted drama or spontaneous combustion. Behind the scenes, producers huddle in the control booth, fingers hovering over the commercial break button, hearts pounding as ratings meters spike. This is gold, pure unadulterated television chaos. Lorraine, sensing the interview veering into uncharted waters, attempts a pivot, her host instincts kicking in like muscle memory. "Let's talk about your empowering role in Lee, that raw portrayal of a survivor. How did you channel your own strength there?" she asks, hoping to steer back to safer shores of cinema acclaim. Kate, however, is not done. Her passion, once a gentle stream, now roars like a highland burn after rain. She dives deeper, weaving in tales from her advocacy work with the Body Positive Alliance, where she's lobbied Parliament for better media regulations, citing statistics that hit like punches. How 80% of girls aged 10-17 report body dissatisfaction fueled by TV portrayals. The data, pulled from recent WHO reports, underscores her point with clinical precision. But Lorraine waves it off with a laugh that's a touch too bright. "Stats are one thing, but a good laugh keeps us sane. Haven't you ever just embraced the absurdity?" It's a misstep, a spark to Kate's powder keg. "Absurdity? Try humiliation," Kate snaps, her cheeks flushing under the studio makeup, recounting a particularly vicious encounter with a paparazzo who shouted crude remarks about her post-pregnancy figure during a school run. The story, laced with expletives bleeped in post-production but vivid in the live moment, draws audible winces from the crowd. Now the clash escalates, voices overlapping in a symphony of raised decibels. Lorraine defending the levity of her show as a safe space for real talk, Kate accusing her of performative allyship that undermines the very women she claims to uplift. The exchange bounces like a tense tennis rally, Lorraine citing her interviews with plus-size models who love a cheeky joke, Kate countering with research from the British Psychological Society on how such humor perpetuates internalized misogyny. The audience is riveted, phones discreetly filming under seats, already envisioning the TikTok clips that will rack up millions of views by lunchtime. Off-camera, the floor manager signals frantically, but the women are locked in, a duel of intellects and experiences that transcends the soundstage. Chaos descends upon the Lorraine Kelly set like a sudden squall, the once cozy studio now a coliseum of clashing egos and unspoken grievances. Kate Winslet, her face a mask of controlled fury etched with the lines of a life lived boldly, towers over the table, her presence commanding silence from even the most loquacious crew members. The audience, torn between loyalty to their morning ritual and awe at this unfiltered display, buzzes with whispers that swell into a low roar, a Greek chorus to the unfolding drama. Lorraine Kelly, The anchor, who's weathered scandals from royal divorces to celebrity meltdowns, rises halfway from her seat, her hands outstretched in a placatory gesture that sequels genuine and gravitational pull toward composure. "Kate, please, let's not end on this note. You're a trailblazer, and I admire that," she pleads, her voice cracking just enough to reveal the woman beneath the host, the one who's balanced family and fame for years in the unforgiving spotlight. But Kate, fueled by a righteous indignation honed from decades of dodging typecasts and trolls, shakes her head, her earrings swaying like pendulums marking the end of civility. "Admiration without action is empty, Lorraine. I've watched this show celebrate real women one segment and then giggle at their flaws the next. It's hypocritical, and I'm done playing along." The words reverberate, amplified by the overhead mix, broadcasting live to millions across the UK and beyond, where living rooms from Edinburgh flats to Cornwall cottages freeze mid-sip of tea. In the control booth, producers scramble like sailors in a galley. One cues the emergency music bed, a jaunty tune about friendship that lands like a lead balloon, while another frantically dials the network lawyers, anticipating the tweet storm about to engulf Lorraine clash. The floor director, a veteran with graying temples from similar near misses, steps forward hesitantly, his clipboard clutched like a shield. "Miss Winslet, perhaps we can take a quick break?" he suggests, his tone diplomatic as a UN envoy. But Kate waves him off, her gaze locked on the reins, a standoff that crackles with unspoken histories. The time Kate was body-shamed in a tabloid linked to ITV advertisers, the episodes where Lorraine's guests were prodded about diets under the guise of health chats. It's personal now, layered with the weight of industry-wide complicity. The audience, sensing the precipice, divides. Some cheer Kate's candor with whoops that echo her 2015 Oscar speech on self-acceptance. Others murmur support for Lorraine, the people's presenter who's donated her salary to charity and championed underdogs from asylum seekers to single moms. Phones light up the dimming studio like fireflies, capturing every angle, Kate's clenched fist on the table, Lorraine's furrowed brow, the makeup artist's horrified hover in the wings. Social media ignites instantaneously. X, formerly Twitter, trends with #Kate vs Lorraine, memes spawning faster than rabbits in spring, photoshopped images of Kate as rose-wielding and or against icebergs labeled patriarchy, Lorraine as a kilted warrior defending her turf. Back on set, the argument reignites in fits and starts, Kate citing a 2024 BAFTA report on gender bias in broadcasting that found 62% of female presenters felt pressure to self-deprecate for likability. Lorraine countering with anecdotes from her own career, like enduring sexist jabs during Gulf War embeds. "I've earned my scars, Tad, don't lecture me on the fight," she snaps, her Scottish lilt sharpening to a blade. The retort stings, drawing a sharp inhale from Kate, who retorts with the precision of a screenwriter, "Earning scars doesn't give a pass to perpetuate the pain your platform amplifies, for better or worse." The exchange devolves into rapid-fire barbs, voices overlapping in a cacophony that drowns out the canned laughter track long abandoned. A stagehand, emboldened by the melee, edges closer with a water bottle as peace offering, but it's rebuffed. The energy is palpable, a vortex sucking in everyone from the lighting tech adjusting gels to the intern live tweeting from her phone. As the clock ticks past the segment's allotted time, spilling into ad territory, the producers make the call. Intervention. The floor manager, now flanked by security in ill-fitting blazers, approaches Kate with measured steps. "Ma'am, we need to wrap this for the sake of the schedule," he says, his voice steady but eyes pleading. Kate, chest heaving from the verbal joust, assesses the room with the adoring fans turning uneasy, the host's plea hanging unanswered, and makes her choice. With a regal incline of her chin, she turns on her heel, microphone pack ripping free with a velcro tear that sounds like finality. "Thank you for having me, or trying to," she says over her shoulder, striding toward the exit with the poise of a queen abdicating a flawed court. The doors swing open to a hallway lined with startled staff, and just like that, Kate Winslet is gone, leaving a stunned silence in her wake. Lorraine slumps back into her chair, the fight draining from her like air from a punctured balloon, her hand trembling as she sips from a forgotten mug. The audience exhales collectively, A wave of applause uncertain in its target, while the crew resets frantically for the next guest, a perky chef demoing pumpkin spice latessa as if nothing happened. But everything has. In the aftermath's hush, the implications ripple outward, calls for boycotts, think pieces on ally ship, and a surge in Kate's latest film's pre-sales.